Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram 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 Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari Hari Hari. So anyway, you'll keep that because we're going to have to take the. Oh, that there's a whole lot we have to take out. Ah, Krishna. I'm having my lunch. That. Oh yeah, super reality show. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna 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 Hari 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 Ram Hari Ram 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 Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna. Computer turned off. I just turned it back. It just turned off. I just turned it.
It's go down faster than charge.
Oh, really? Anyway, I don't know.
It's very slow because battery is extremely low.
Yeah, it's 5%.
Must work.
No, yeah.
Let me restart.
Ram Ram Krishna Krishna. Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram. Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, 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 Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, 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 Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Can you take out the last from, can you edit it?
Which one?
That one?
Not yet. Just download as it is.
Can you, edavas motion at lavas? Reduct.
And upload again?
No, just cut. I need to get that piece.
Telephone.
Yes, 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 yes.
Plus,
Whatever, from wherever I'm starting on the telephone.
right now?
Well, whenever. How many rounds you done?
17.
17.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay, then please. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Hari Ram, Hari Ram. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Hari Ram, Hari Ram. Ram, Ram.
Do you need video or audio or both?
Both.
Both.
Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram Ram Hari Hari Hari. Ram Ram Hari Hari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari Ram Ram Krishna Ram 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 Hari Hari Ram Ram Hari 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 Ram Ram Hari 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 Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hari 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 Krishna, Krishna. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Krishna. To what? Okay, no problem. But you got everything.
Yeah, from the first.
Okay. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Hari, 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 Rama, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Hari Rama. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari. Haribol. Ram, Ram, Krishna, Krishna. Ram, 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 Krishna, Krishna. Hari Ram. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari. Will you sing? You're going to sing, right? Not immediately, but in a few minutes. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Krishna, Krishna. Do you want to use cartels? Can you play cartels? No, okay, then, keep practicing. I mean, it's up to you. They're there if you want to try, but, if you're not comfortable with it, do it some other time. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari, Hari. Ram, Ram, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Krishna, Hari, Rama, Hari, Rama. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari, Hari. Yes, please. That, yeah, okay. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari. Rama, Rama, Hari, Hari, Hari. Krishna, Krishna, Hari. Okay, I think we can start. Radha, Madhava, Kunjabi, Hari. Jaya Radha, Madhava, Hari. Jana Balava, Giribharat, Hari. Gopi Jana Balava, Giribharat, Hari. Yashodanandana, Janaranjana. Yashodanandana, Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira, Vanachari. Yamunatira, Vanachari. Jaya Radha, Madhava, Kunjabi, Hari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajacharya Status Sismad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantaraj Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita Ki. Shri Radha Radhanath Ki. Shri Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki. Sankirtan Yagya Ki. Gopremanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, devotees, this morning I was overtired, unfortunately. Excuse me for, just really, yeah. And I hope it doesn't happen again now, because I'm no less tired now. Anyway, let's carry on. We're in the third chapter. We're coming to the end of the third chapter of the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Actually, there's only another about, I think, 12, 13, anyway, maybe 15 verses to go, and then we're on to the fourth part. So we're making very good progress. Hope we're not rushing it too much. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presta Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastichadesh Tarne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchkapaturabhyascha kripas sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, okay, we are beginning with, I think 173. We finished. Actually, we read it, but I'm going to read it again because it's a nice verse. Yeah. So it's 173. By the power of bhakti, you will have many realizations time and again, and for certain you will conquer your most formidable obstacles. In all circumstances, be assured, we are your helpers. So this is the Vaikuntavasis addressing Gopakumar, and, well, the main thing really is that we are your helpers, that we all have, well, Gopakumar, they're his helpers, but all of us, we have helpers up there on the spiritual platform. For us, particularly, Srila Prabhupada is right up there. And then there's there's the Parampara, and like that. Of course, there's the devotees, just the community of devotees. That's true. And they do help. All of them help in different ways. But particularly when, as the Vaikuntavasis say, that when you're dealing with your most formidable obstacles, oh, Krishna, it's fair to say that we all have formidable obstacles. Ultimately, in one sense, that our most formidable obstacle is ourselves. That's true. It's definitely true. But then, of course, there's the material world and what's going on and the people and the attractions and just, you all know. There are many obstacles. But ultimately, if we can stop being an obstacle to ourselves, means if we can stop sort of looking back at material life to see, could I go back and try again if I did it better in this way or that way or something like that? Then maybe I could find happiness on the material level. Of course, that's the most explicit form, but in more subtle forms, it's just more subtle tendencies for the mind to wander a bit, for us to criticize other devotees, and pride, envy, these types of subtle obstacles, they're formidable. And we've been under their control for so many lifetimes. It's just incredible. And as a result, it's ingrained. It's ingrained very deeply. Yeah, in all sorts of even funny little ways sometimes. So But if we keep engaged, despite ourselves, if we keep engaged in devotional service, then by the potency of bhakti, which ultimately means by the mercy of Krishna, and with the help from particularly people like Prabhupada, people who are really on the spiritual platform, higher level devotees, then we can make progress and we can go back to Godhead. This is the reality. First thing is to keep going and not stop. If you stop, you can't go forward. Yeah, so first thing, keep going somehow, and then just take shelter and take shelter and take shelter in so many ways. You could say wherever shelter is available, real shelter. And then progress can be there, progress will be there. 174. The greatest mercy of Sri Krishna Chandra we have found is firmly established in you, because even the arguments of the residents of Tapaloka could not dissolve your eagerness to see in person the Supreme Lord. So this is a very important point about Gopakumar, really, is that Gopakumar in due course, because of who he is and what he is, he's a cowherd boy from Govardhan Hill, and that's his eternal nature. Because of that, he's going to go back to Godhead. He's already got special mercy. Of course, like we have read, he doesn't understand his situation, doesn't understand who he is, doesn't understand what he's doing in many ways. But he's got some special mercy there in the heart. And so this special mercy, and as a result, the Vaikuntavasis are saying that your eagerness to see the Lord, to meet the Lord, your eagerness is so great because you've got that mercy. And therefore, even these people in Tapaloka who, and I mean, there have been people everywhere, all the different places he's been, who've tried to persuade him to stay wherever the place is, in all the different places. But his eagerness has remained. And this is because he's got special mercy. And ultimately, he's eager to see the Lord. And so they're predicting that things are going to work out. You know, for us, that's the case. Our situations, of course, are different from Gopakumar's in many ways, but not totally different. We're devotees, or we're practicing, we're trying to be or to become proper devotees. We're really, everyone here, all 6 of you, and I'm hanging in there somewhere, you're all special persons. And how can we say you're special? Because you're here in Prabhupada's movement. And by his arrangement and by Krishna's arrangement, you've all got devotional service in parampara. How rare is this? It's just amazing. Actually, it's inconceivable. Even others who are Krishna conscious or involved in one sort of process or another, but even those who are in other forms of Krishna consciousness, not under Prabhupada's shelter, they haven't got that mercy which you all have. So therefore, carry on. At least carry on. Prabhupada, not long before he left this world, he said, at least maintain what I've given to you. Don't let it just, deteriorate and start falling away. Don't do that. At least maintain. And if you can do more, if you can advance the movement, well, that's great, but at least maintain. So for us, we should really try to move forward. We should pray to move forward. We should try to understand what is required for me to move forward. What could be my next step as an individual? So we should try to keep moving forward, but at least don't go backwards. At least don't go backwards. And if we really try to move forward in sober and like real and proper ways, then by Krishna's grace we'll be able to go forward. The form, this is 175, the form of the personality of Godhead, absolutely real, is the concentrated essence of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Only with senses that are fit can one perceive that Satchit Ananda form. Yet, by the power of the Lord's mercy, even with the present eyes, quickly one can see it. Hare Krishna. Thus one beholds the object most suitable for one's vision. One achieves this by the Lord's mercy or even by one's own endeavor. Yes. So, of course, the Lord's form is Satchit Ananda, completely transcendental. And only with suitable senses, Satchit Ananda senses, can we perceive that form. But they're saying, still, if you get enough mercy, then even with your present eyes, quickly you'll be able to see the Lord. We can say that this includes seeing the deity, because the deity is the Lord. There's so many stories of devotees talking to the Lord. That's one thing. We can talk to the deity, but there are many stories of the deity replying. So, yeah, there are many stories, many amazing and wonderful stories, how people in essentially conditions physically like our conditions, but the Lord has revealed himself in that way, spoken to them, moved, and these types of things. That's happened. There are many cases. Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's the story of Sakshi Gopal. We won't go through the whole story, I think you know. He walked from Vrindavan almost to Puri. It's close on 2,000 kilometers. He walked for his embodied devotee. So if we get enough mercy, then we can see the Lord. And, to see the Lord, well, we see the deity, but if we get enough mercy, we can perceive, and sometimes it's very subtle, but sometimes it's very clear. We can perceive interactions. The Lord is interacting with us. We can see it, that actually it's happening. The Lord has stepped into my life in reality, even if it's just a glimpse or, some relatively small type of interaction, and not necessarily like the Lord talks to you literally, although it can be. So, like this, it's generally by the Lord's mercy, or they say by one's own endeavor. That's not really elaborated on in the purport here, but the thing is, if we really do endeavor very sincerely in the right ways, then the Lord will be merciful. But we should know that Krishna is always self-manifest. He only manifests when he wants to. You cannot force him. You cannot make him appear in front of you or do something for you. You cannot force him. If or when he appears in our lives and interacts, and we see that, that was Krishna intervening, then we must know it was by his mercy. Yeah. And of course, the more we endeavor sincerely, the more he will give us. It's called Karunya Shakti. He'll give us his mercy through his merciful potency, his potency of mercy. He has many potencies. One of them is the potency of mercy. 176. Even though one's vision of the Lord has its origin in the eye of knowledge, one may think, I'm seeing him with my own two eyes. This simply indicates the power of Krishna's mercy, by which the devotee feels his own special joy unfurl. Yeah, it's just by Krishna's mercy. He may empower our external regular senses. If he empowers them, then there's no limit to what we can do or see or hear or where we can go. By the force of the vast mercy of the Lord, or by the natural influence of devotional service, one can see him. So even with the limited eyes, one can achieve the constant vision one may have with the mind in meditation. So yes, the mercy of the Lord is so powerful that even with your limited material eyes, you may be able to see him or have the constant vision, not just, a little bit, some flash or something small, but constantly you can have that vision, which otherwise you might only have in the mind by meditation. 178. If this were not so, by no means would one be able to see the self-effulgent supreme controller even within the mind. When the Lord is worshipped in any manner, he bestows intense happiness, for he is the very embodiment of such happiness. Yeah, so if the Lord was not so unlimitedly merciful, we wouldn't be able to see him even within the mind, what to speak of moving around. And when we worship him in that way, in devotional service, particularly Nam Sankirtan, then he gives great happiness because he's the embodiment of happiness. We everywhere find that by seeing the Lord with the eyes, one achieves his mercy in all its forms and the most intense and excellent joy. Indeed, to see him is the goal of hearing and of all the other ways of devotional practice. Okay. So ultimately the goal of all devotional activities is to see the Lord, not just see the Lord like, just see, but to actually develop a relationship in which, of course, you'll see him. 180. By all methods of spiritual discipline, seeing the Lord in person is the true reward to be attained. That alone destroys illusion down to the root, so that pure love of God may flourish. Okay. 181. Although devotees like Prahlad, the son of Kayadu, who was Prahlad's mother, she's nicer than his father. So although devotees like Prahlad saw the Lord in their hearts, they always yearned to see him with their eyes. For this, the proof is that when they finally saw him, they felt special ecstasies. Okay. 182. When some devotees, even while seeing Krishna in person, close their eyes and appear to withdraw into their minds, this may seem to be meditation, but in fact it is not. Rather, it is a transformation brought on by excessive joy, like the trembling and other signs of ecstasy in devotees in pure love. Okay. They're seeing Krishna in front of them. They close their eyes, and it looks like they're going into some sort of internal meditation. But they're not. It's just they become so happy seeing the Lord, they close their eyes and just sort of take him deeply into their hearts. So it's an ecstatic transformation, like trembling, crying, shivering of the body, and these symptoms of ecstasy. Meditation makes sense when the Supreme Lord cannot be seen, not when he's directly present. But Sankirtan is always befitting, whether the Lord is visible or not. Okay. So meditation, when you can't see the Lord, when you see the Lord, you don't need to go into some sort of meditation blocking out your vision. But Sankirtan, if the Lord is not present, it's just a wonderful thing to do, to chant his holy names. If the Lord is present, it's just a wonderful thing to do. As we do in front of the deities, we have our kirtans, not so much these days, but Mangalartis there. Guru Puja, and Tulsi Puja, Guru Puja, and Kirtan after Guru Puja. And it's nice. But when we're just moving around, doing this and doing that, or doing some service here or there somewhere around, it's always nice to chant. Chant on the beads or just sing. Sing the holy names. It's always the right thing to do. 184. Dearer to the Lord than even his own beautiful form. His easily worshipped holy name benefits the entire world. Indeed, nothing is as full of nectar as the holy name of the Lord. That's amazing, isn't it? That the holy name of the Lord is dearer to the Lord than even his form. You know, it's said, it's one of the devotional principles that there's a succession of sort of events or things as you progress in Krishna consciousness. First, you realize the Lord is approached through his names. Then when you're really into the names, you realize the forms. Then when you're still really into the names and you've realized the forms, then you realize the qualities of the Lord. And name, form, qualities, then you continue and you see how he exhibits the qualities in his pastimes. Yeah. The pastimes are special manifestations of his qualities. Not just doing this, doing that, doing some things, but his pastimes are just situations in which his qualities are displayed. So therefore, the names, they're the most essential things. 185. Therefore, honoring the order of Lord Shiva, you should leave this place at once. Go to divine Mathura, the place most dear to Krishna. O Mathura, we bow down to you. So Lord Shiva told him to leave Mahakalapur and go to Mathura, or Vraja. No, you can use the term Mathura, but of course, if you're specifically referring to the town, or it's now a city, that's one thing. But otherwise, in general, when Mathura is referred to, or at least often put it that way, it's referring to the whole of Vraj Mandala with all Govardhan and everything. And so the Vaikuntavasis say, oh no, they say, oh Mathura, we bow down to you. What a place. Sri Gopakumar said, upon drinking this invigorating tonic for the ears and heart, I was filled with delight. I bowed down to the messengers from Vaikuntha and to Lord Shiva and his wife, and by their grace I was swept at once to this Vrajabhumi. Oh, how my mind was stunned. So, okay, it was all amazing to hear. And at the end, he offers his obeisances to the Vaikuntavasis and Lord Shiva and Parvati. And then he looked up and suddenly found himself in Vrajabhumi, which was bewildering. Oh, how my mind was stunned. And let's just make a quick start to chapter 4. That's the end of chapter 3. We did it. Whew. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'll tell you one thing though. Oh, the chapters start getting longer. This is 186 verses. Well, I'm not sure about 4. Anyway, they'll go up to 300, 400 verses. And the subject matter will get deeper. So anyway, let's go into the 4th chapter. And it is titled Vaikuntha. And it's, at least a lot of it is about Gopakumar going to Vaikuntha. There are 274 verses, so it's definitely the longest chapter we've encountered. So let's just, read a few verses. So the first section is from 1 to 9, and he arrives in Vrindavan, in Vraja. I wandered alone, observing on the earth a splendor I had never seen anywhere, taking up residence in a forest, as if in a daze I forgot everything from before. Sure. Wow. He was so enchanted in the forest there in Vraja, so overwhelmed by the forest and the transcendental atmosphere, he forgot what the Vaikuntavasis had told him, how you can approach Vaikuntha. In the course of my playful wandering, I came to Mathura, Sri Madhupuri. There I heard the Bhagavatam and other scriptures from the local Brahmins. Okay. After rightly understanding the meaning of devotional service in its 9 forms, I came to the forest. And as soon as I arrived, I met my divine spiritual master. So again, through this association, he's being reminded of the 9 devotional activities which the Vaikuntavasis had explained to him, as we just read. And then he met his spiritual master again. He appeared splendid, just as before. And when he saw me lying prostrate before him, he joyfully embraced me and offered his blessings. Thus, my all-knowing master showed me his extreme mercy. So, all the time, Gopa Kumar's been here, there, and so many places, and now he's met the Vaikuntavasis in Mahakalapur and Lord Shiva. But his spiritual master hasn't changed. He's transcendental to those things. So the verse says that his spiritual master showed him his extreme mercy, which means that he taught him all about devotional service. All about devotional service, so much. And right up to the stage of full realization. Receiving his grace, which revealed to me the most confidential secrets, I followed his instructions by practicing bhakti yoga without interruption. So as we know, previously he had just been chanting his mantra. Yeah. Then he met Ganesh, Lord Shiva. They introduced these things to some degree. But then the Vaikuntavasis, all about the 9 processes, particularly chanting. So now, Gopa Kumar, having been instructed further by his spiritual master, now he's not just chanting his mantra sometimes. He's really practicing devotional service. Yeah, he's now like scientifically practicing devotional service. So he's really made some progress. He's not just, Gopa Kumar, just, what's going on? What's it about? Now he knows, and he's applying himself to it in a progressive way, endeavoring with all sincerity. Such a flood of pure love of God so quickly awakened within me that I lost control of myself. I was unable to do anything but chant the Lord's glories. O Sri Krishna, Gopal, Hari, Mukunda, Govinda, O Nandakishore, Krishna, O darling son of Sri Yashoda, please show me your favor. O life of the divine cowherd girls, O Lord of Radhika. Right. So here, of course, here he's speaking to the Mathura Brahmin. And he's showing him, demonstrating how he was practicing the 6 processes. It was so overwhelming that he just lost control of himself and got into chanting. Thus I called out to Krishna and sang his glories in various ways. At one moment I danced exuberantly, at another sobbed out loud. Like a madman I wandered here and there according to my whims, forgetting my own body and everything else. So he's made great advancement, and he's in ecstasy, devotional ecstasy, through his practicing the processes of devotional service, particularly chanting the Lord's glories, the Lord's names. Verse 9. Once I thought I saw the Lord of my life standing before me, and I ran to take hold of him. Overwhelmed by love, I fainted and fell to the ground. Okay. And at that moment, the associates of the Lord arrived in an airplane to take me to Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna. He's on his way to Vaikuntha. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And again, I want to apologize to you all for this morning. I was just, it was too much. I couldn't manage. Well, I mean, I was half managing, but at the end, sorry. Very embarrassing. First time, probably the first time it's ever happened to me. Okay, devotees, let's go.